Toy Story 4 has a deaf character, but thousands of deaf children are being left excluded by cinemas. According to figures from your local cinema, of the 688 cinemas showing Toy Story 4 in its opening week 21 June 27, just 301 offered performances with subtitles. Opportunities were, in addition, many subtitled screenings took place at times, which made it difficult for working families with school-age children to attend, and most cinemas also only had one subtitled showing, offering little choice to deaf cinema-goers. Often subtitled versions are shown after 9:30 p.m. for the children's film Image Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. The National Deaf Children's Society fears that deaf children will be excluded by the lack of subtitled screenings. Helen Cable, who leads the charity's work with children and young people, said it's appalling that deaf children aren't being offered the chance to enjoy the magic of the movies like every other child. Imagine what it's easy for cinemas to provide subtitles, but the majority have decided not to, and it will mean thousands of deaf children are excluded. Cinemas across Duncan Milne, from Aberdeen, whose partner Fiona and children Ailsa, 7, and Fergus, 4, are all deaf, said we went to see Toy Story 4 as a family and it was great to see a kid with a cochlear implant in it, but it's frustrating to realize that many deaf people won't be able to see it because there are so few subtitled showings. One time we had to travel late one night to a different city to see a film we were told would be subtitled, only to find it wasn't. We complained and watched Toy Story 4 meet Forky Slate. Hearing people can just pop out to the cinema and see the film they want, but deaf people don't have that luxury. We have to jump through. The news comes after a study from the National Deaf Children's Society revealed deaf children are only half as likely to go to the cinema as their hearing friends. As a result, the National Deaf Children's Society has been inundated with complaints on its Facebook page about the lack of subtitled films across the UK. Laura James said I. Jamie Pennicott said R. Kristen Harvey wrote this. Cineworld, Voo, and Odeon have all been approached for comment. Gallery The Best and Worst Pixar Movies USA Today.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.